8,000 meters to kilometers. There are 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so we're going to divide by 1,000 and we get 8. Change centimeters to meters. We're going to times by 10 centimeters to millimeters, but because it's squared, it's 10 squared. Area of a rectangle, length times breadth, 5 times 6 is 30. Parallelogram is base times height. Trapezium is half times the height times the top plus the bottom, which is this one here. It's just a little bit different, times where the height is at the end. Now, a triangle has an area of 20. Now, triangle is half times base times height, so we need something, when you times it by half will get you 20, so it's actually going to be 40. What are the two numbers that times together for 40? That. The radius, centre to the edge, obviously is 2. The area of a circle, pi r squared, so therefore pi times 2 squared. Number 9, circle is pi times r squared, and we have a quarter of the circle, or divide by 4, which is the same as over 4. Now sector, we have pi times radius squared, and the radius is 1, but because we don't have the full circle, we have 60 degrees out of the full 360 degrees, which is C. Okay, question 1. Area. Okay, there's two ways you can do it. You can either do the complete rectangle. Now, it's 3, 3, and 3, so it's 9. So it would be 9 times 7. But then we're going to take away this square, which is 3 by 3. And we get 54 centimeters squared. Or you can break the rectangles up and you'll have this one, 3 times 3, plus this one, 3 times 3, plus this one, which will be 9 times the length here. Well, if that's 3, that has to be 4. And obviously you get 54 also there. Now the area of the triangle, half times by the base, which is 8, times by the height, gets you 44 centimeters squared. Area of the following shape. Now, this one's a bit hard. Half times the diagonals, which is 25 times 10, but sometimes I assume the 10 is all the way, but even if the 10 is there, therefore it will be 20. I would have given both answers for that. Should have been more information. So 25 times 250, half of that is 125. Okay, convert the following. So to meters to centimeters is normally 100, but it's going to be squared. Gets you 2,300. Millimeters to meters. So millimeters to centimeters is divide by 10, but it's squared because it's millimeters squared. Then centimeters to meters is normally divided by 100, but it's squared because it's meters squared. And you get 0.6152. Hectares to meters squared, there are 10,000 meters square in each hectare, so obviously it's going to be 550,000. A rhombus has an area of half times one diagonal, which is 25, times another diagonal, which you don't know, so it's 600. So you need a number in the box, that's going to get you 600. So you can do the opposite. So you can times by 2, so it's going to be 25 times something must equal 1200, and we're going to divide by 25, and we're going to get 48. So obviously 48 centimetres, but you can do that by trial and error. So circle, which is pi times radius squared. Now that's a full circle, but we only have part of a circle. How much of a circle do we have? Now most people said 50 out of 360, but we actually have 310 out of 360, which equals 97.389, so 97.39 centimetres squared, because we want it 2 decimal places. Okay, area. We have a rectangle, length times breadth, 4 times 8, plus a parallelogram, which is base times the height, so 7 times 5. And we get 67 metres squared. The annulus, which is one big circle, pi times the radius, 29 squared, pi r squared, and we're going to take away, because there's a hole, pi times 7 squared. We get 2,488.14, but we'll leave it at that, millimetres squared. Volume. Okay, the watt of the pool is the amount of space, so that is obviously the volume of the pool. It is measured in meters cubed or cubic meters. When it's filled, that is its capacity, and is best measured in kiloliters, because milli is too small. Okay, the volume, sorry, how many cubes can you see? Well, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but there is 7 behind there. There's also 8 on the bottom, and also 9, 10. So we have 10. I would have given 6 though. Alright, we have 2 blocks on the side, 3 there and 3 there. 2 by 3 by 3 is 18. Rectangular prism. Okay, we've got 4 by 6, the area there, times by 11, which is 264 centimetres cubed. Now, this one here, you can either do it by a whole rectangular prism and take away the centre, or cut it. So we have 6 by 15 by 3 for the bottom, plus 5 by 4 by 3. And we get 330 centimetres cubed. Now this prism, the volume is area times height. So the area is 36 and its height is 2.8, which is 100.8 centimetres cubed. Centimetres to metres is normally times by 10, but it's cube, so it's 10, so it's 7,000. Metres to centimetres is normally divided by 100, but it's cubed, so we get 65. Mils to centimetres cubed is exactly the same, 1 to 1, so it's 45. Mils to litres, there are 1,000 mils in each litre, so we don't quite have 1,000, so it's 0.85. Kilolitres to mils, so kilolitres, we are first going to times by 1,000 to get it into litres, and then another 1,000 to get it into mils, and we get 5,000 mils. 8 metres cubed is the same as 8 kilolitres, and there are 1,000 litres in each kilolitre, so this means it's 8,000. Alright, we have a cylinder. Now the area of the circle is pi times r squared, so the radius has to be 4 squared, and we're going to times it by the height. So there's the volume. And we get 628.3. So when it says to the nearest cubic centimetre, that's to the nearest whole number, so 0.3 doesn't change anything. So now into millilitres, it's 1 to 1, so it's the same in millilitres. Okay, we have a half a cylinder here, so the area is pi times r squared. Now the radius is going to be 8 squared. We're going to times it by height to get it into volume, and we're going to divide it by 2 because it's half, and we get 2,513.27, but it's 1 decimal 8, so the 7 is going to round the 2 up to a 3 centimetres cubed. Now the area of the triangular face, there's the triangle. It is half times by the base, which is 2, times by the height, which is 1.5. And we get 1.5 centimetres squared because it is area. Now the volume, well, all we need to do is times the area by its height. Now the height of the whole thing is how far that goes back, which is 11. We get 16.5 centimetres cubed. So Chloe at 60 just unfortunately added all those together. But we know that volume of a rectangular prism is the area of the bottom times by the height. So the area is 6 by 22 times by the height. Get 4224 centimetres cubed. So will Chloe get it? No, she will not.